a lot of men that like virgins don't like them because of the experience of a virgin. They like them more because of the morality that they represent. So if I bring, you know how a lot of men are more about the representation of the person they are bringing into their home to their family than how that person actually is to them personally. So let me give you an example. So let's say I'm a young man now. A lot of men believe that life is by stages, right? And so it's not by how you feel and how things flow. So by that, I mean, they believe that once they turn 30 or 35 or whatever age, that point is they must find a wife. Quote, find a wife. What that means is it's not somebody they're in love with, not just find a wife.
You're settling.
Exactly. Somebody they want to keep at home as a wife. Now, when they're on that journey, there's a checklist. And a lot of what's on that checklist has something to do with how that person represents the man to his family. You know, so you got to, like, if you bring a prostitute, let me just give an example. Now, if you bring a prostitute to him, that prostitute represents something different of himself to his family than what he would want to portray. Right? Now, it's not because the prostitute herself is bad, but he wants a facade that he wants to represent for himself to his family. And so on that checklist, you have virginity in some cases, right? And what the man really wants in that situation is he just wants his family to say, oh, you have brought a good girl. She's even untouched. She's very, it's a very, I've never understood it, but I mean, it does happen. And, you know, I'm just saying this based on the fact that these people do exist, right? And so, you know, answering her question would only come from an angle of the kind of man that she's going to want to be with. So it's not a general question of do men want or don't want.
Does your man or the man you want, does he like virgins? There are certain men that
believe that they just want the purity of it. In fact, what will even happen is that they may not even touch you. They are sleeping with other women, but they want to keep you as pure as they want to. Exactly. In my personal opinion, or from my own personal preference, I personally don't like virgins. Now, only because I believe a lot in sexual chemistry when it comes to, you know, my relationship or marriage or whatever it is. And I mean, I feel like, yes, we should sort of even explore that we are compatible in that way, because there's nothing worse than you're married to someone and you guys are having the worst sex. People keep saying that you can learn sex as you go, but there are also times when you've met people that you guys just don't work sexually. They want something different from what you want, and you guys just can't meet in the middle. So as much as you can learn it, right, it doesn't also mean that you guys and your bodies are aligned. So imagine me getting married to someone now in the hope that we will learn the sex together. And then she finds out that, okay, actually I'm not the kind of person she enjoys sexually. Her body just doesn't respond to mine in a certain way. And they were messed up. So again, that's just my own personal reason, right, for not really wanting a virgin. Not because I find any wrong in someone being a virgin, but for me personally, it just won't work. So yeah, and I say again, it's a good stand that you have. Like you've mentioned, you know, your decision doesn't change regardless of our answer. So, you know, and I find that very commendable, you know, and admirable actually. So I think keep it up. Yeah. So, but those are our answers to that, and I think we can move on to the next. So what lines, where do we draw the line then on what we do for the people that are not our actual partners?
I don't have any.
And this is not just money related now, right?
I don't have. See me, my only thing is this. We are together, but we ain't together. As long as we both happy, fine. Now, we are adults.
That's such a Yoruba man thing to say. What in the ambiguity is that?
What I mean, but okay, for example, when you're talking to a girl or you like a girl or somebody, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to do things that I like to do with her. I'm going to share moments with her.
Okay.
Then, if I notice things that make her happy, I'm going to try and do those things. Now, my limits and boundary is certain things that, unless we have that conversation now, certain things that might bring a thought in you that might think it's more than that, or might create an image. This sounds so Yoruba. I can't lie to you. I can't even defend myself. Like at this point, I'm so sorry. Like I'm being real.
I'm so glad.
No, because because you're putting me in a corner. No, it's not fair.
I am putting you in a corner. All I said was share your experience.
No, what I mean is that, okay, so for example, the girls I've seen in the past, like if we like each other, we like each other. We're gonna do things together. We're gonna rock all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then boundaries, and I don't even think boundaries. It's just that the limits. For example, me now. If I like you, I'll do everything, see you, go out. But then I'll make sure I don't overstep or overdo things that'll make you think
There's more.
we're human beings. Even if you have that conversation early, right? As you start to spend time
It's
with
still
each other
feelings,
more,
yeah.
feelings go catch now.
Yeah,
And there's
of course,
nothing wrong, whether man or woman. I've caught feelings heavy that I've been the one to say I like you and it didn't work out. But I'm also saying there's the other side where me too, I've been the one that's saying I'm not ready. But what I'll say is, because you probably have more expertise than me.
What does that even? Go on, I'm listening.
Eh?
I don't even know what that means, but go
No,
on.
but you, they call me lover boy, so I don't know. You on the other hand.
So now he's entered small relationship.
No,
And I'm catching strays?
You are actually.
We'll deal with that.
You are actually.
We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that.
1-0.
All right.
Remember that. But
all right,
you go ahead and say.
Okay. So I do agree with, most of what you said. In that I'm with someone. I do the things I like. We like. I mean, we should have a good time, right? The problem always is, again, like you kind of highlighted, is where there seem to be like gray areas on if it's more, if it's just that, and stuff like that. Now, of course, it's never anything a conversation cannot solve, right? However, conversations are only just words, and then most times the actions kind of contradict. And I'll say this from experience. I mean, I'll be honest, right? I have had times when, I'm with someone and we're talking, I'm trying to get to know the person, but I find that in a lot of times your experiences also kind of help you with how you're navigating. Let me give you an example of what I mean, how you're navigating those situations. So because I've been in the dating scene for a long time, right, and I've had relationships as well and all that, I'm kind of grounded on what I want, so to say, and it's not really like a list of things like, okay, what I want is a big girl, you're not big, or what I want is a small girl. It's not really a list of things. I would know when I see what I want, right? And if that person is someone I want for more than just talking, I want a lot more with the person, I want to spend the rest of my life with the person, I would know, right? Now, if I'm talking to someone and, we're trying to get to know each other and everything, it's very tricky. And I say this because I'm naturally a romantic person, but I know how romance can translate differently, especially in the early stages of, you guys talking to each other. But at the same time, not being romantic comes off as, you're not even a romantic guy. Why am I going to be with you?
Fair.
So you see how there's a gray area there. And so in most cases, I do some romance, right? And when I do some romance, then what I'm avoiding now happens. I'm not like, you see, I told myself I shouldn't have done this. But at the same time, there are instances where I do the romance and the person reciprocates, well, both be romantic, but there's a mutual understanding that we're still just trying to get to know each other, and that if there's actually something here, we should make it more. Because another thing is that everybody believes that once you guys start talking, you've done one or two things, then that's a relationship already. Now, what are you waiting for? I'm sorry, but I don't actually feel myself living with this person for
Look at you, and I'm the one that's Yoruba.
But these are the facts.
You said, the people have seen us together, you don't want to things, you're getting close. However,
no, but say again.
There's a gray area.
Again, I'd rather be single and let me be called a Yoruba man than be in a relationship where we're both crying.
How do you know though, unless you do it or try it?
And see, that's the thing. I only have trial and error. I only have one left to me. Just one.
You
one
have a
trial
long-ass life on your side.
Yeah, and just one trial left to me. A long-ass life, but my emotional bandwidth has kind of...
God forbid, but in your next relationship, God forbid, if you guys go wild.
Yeah, I feel like I'll be done.
You feel. Doesn't mean you will be.
I mean, I can't tell what life has in store for me, but how I feel currently is that I'll be done. I could get into that relationship
So do
now.
you not feel like that's why, because of that mentality of you're scared of that, not scared, I'll use this different word because that sounds cautious of your next relationship. That's why you're avoiding relationship by having all these situationships because you're not ready to try.
Yeah, that could be one thing. That could be one angle. Another thing is also it's a two-way thing. So I can't find out if I like someone except we're in that thing that you might call a situationship. And because the truth is, how do you actually avoid that stage? How do you actually avoid that stage? Because you're talking to someone, you're hoping you guys get to like each other. Then, okay, and again, I would say the reason why I'm actually avoiding relationships as much is not necessarily just about the being cautious, but I've also found that in my recent years, I have the lowest, and this was not me before, and I say this because this is actually, but I have the lowest tolerance for like inconvenience. And let me tell you, this is actually a point. Let me tell you this is a point.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not laughing at this.
You see, this is the thing, right? When I look back on how I used to court people, right? There was a lot of inconvenience going on in this. So maybe she lives on the mainland. I would drive to the mainland. It's an inconvenience, but I'll do it. Maybe she's out of the country. Okay, long distance will make it work. I can't see you often. It's an inconvenience, but I'll do it. Maybe it was that you know, I know that maybe our tribes don't align, or her parents can't have someone like me. But you know, let's do that young love who elope. You know, now these were things that were fueling my pursuits for the woman. Do you get? But I'm at this stage now where, I kid you not, if somebody tells me,
but you know, those are very strong examples you gave about compromise.
Yeah, now I'm trying to give you. So, and you see, I've given you those. See, those examples were how far I could go.
Fair.
Do you get what I'm saying? Now I'm trying to let you know how little I can't go.
Fair.
Now, if someone tells me, I'm actually even looking for the simplest. So let's say, for example, somebody says, okay, she's trying to get to know she's okay with getting to know me, but her mindset is that men are wicked, so she's not interested. I'm gone. I'm not even.
And that's standard. Okay, that's.
I'm not even. No.
That's a standard.
No,
example.
not really. Guys are going to convince you why.
No.
Why I'm different.
So what I mean is, you're right. You're not wrong.
Yes.
But I don't want to say that because that one is 50-50. You can either be that guy here.
Okay, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it this way.
I say you know what I mean by a proper
let's
example.
do it this way. Let's do it this way. You give me an example of what you think. I mean, that's not a problem. You should be able to deal with that.
Okay, she stays in Aja.
Gone. Sorry. Can't happen.
Nigga, you stay in Ikate.
Yeah. I mean, I stay just before Cheryl, but I can't. It's still pretty far. I can still try my best. I'll be honest.
So if you stay in Ikate, will you stay in Aja? Wait, where do you Chevron? If you stay in Chevron, she stays in Ikoyi.
I can still make it work because a lot of my business is around the area already.
Aja.
I mean, I can still make it work if her business, like if I don't have to be the one going there often, and she comes out, I can make it work.
But you do know a relationship is about compromise, where both of you have to meet in the middle.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We're not. That's what I said. We're not in a relationship, and that's what I said. My tolerance for the inconvenience is so low.
Unless you're ready.
Then I'm not. So I know. See, it's a two-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
It's a good thing because I'm having my standards, blah blah. But it's also a bad thing because I'm not compromising. But the problem is that. At what point do you know when to compromise?
No, but then I feel with every babe, you have to compromise.
Every babe?